Living Corporate is brought to you by the Liberated Love Notes podcast, part of the Living Corporate Network. The Liberated Love Notes podcast is a starting point for integrating self and community affirmations into your daily practices. The Liberated Love Notes podcast center the experience of Black folks existing in white systems and speaks to overcoming imposter syndrome, disrupting injected and internalized forms of oppression, embodying an abundance mindset, and building a healthy racial identity. Check out Liberated Love Notes podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, hosted by Brittany Janae Harris.
What's going on, Living Corporate? It's Tristan, and I want to thank you for tapping back in with me as I provide some tips and advice for professionals. Today, I want to discuss a few tips that can help with your productivity. We've all had those days where we're so productive that we get everything on our to-do list done and we feel unstoppable. But we've also had those days where we can't focus, can't get anything done, and we just hope no one notices. With the pandemic dragging on and many of us still working from our homes, those unproductive days may feel like they outweigh the productive ones. So I want to dive into a few tips that may help boost your productivity, no matter if it's pandemic-induced or just going through that post-lunch slump. First, I know this may sound like a crock of bull, but we need to reframe our mindset. Many of the issues we experience with productivity have to do with our inability to see the future or end result. So take a moment to envision what a productive day at work would look like for you and how you need to show up to make that happen. Also, take some time to evaluate the root cause of the issues you're having and think of some small incremental improvements you can make. Second, just get started on something small. Sometimes we're not productive because the tasks we need to complete seem huge and somewhat insurmountable. But if you can identify a small task and get that done, you can build up momentum that pushes you to the next task, and before you know it, you'll have your whole list completed. Third, clean your workspace. Our space can often impact our mood and productivity. If your space is cluttered, it can become easier for the mind to become distracted. Reconsider everything that is currently housed on your desk. If it doesn't belong there, then move it somewhere else. A great tip for this is to remove everything from your desk, clean your desk, consider everything you put back on it, and clean the commonly used items such as your keyboard, mouse, headphones, and desk mat before you put them back on. Fourth, step outside. Most of us have been spending quite a bit of time in our houses throughout the pandemic. Taking a quick walk can help re-energize you and get you ready to conquer your next task. You might even want to consider working outside if the weather is nice and you can. If you can't work outside or the outdoor spaces you have access to aren't very green, consider moving your desk near a window and buying some plants for your desk. Studies show that having plants in your workspace can help with your productivity. My last tip to help boost your productivity is to take a break. Sometimes we find ourselves in a slump because we aren't listening to our bodies. If you've been sitting at your desk trying to concentrate and have been unsuccessfully trying to get something done for the last 2 hours, step away from that task. Consider doing a quick meditation, checking in with a friend, or even taking a nap if you can. You weren't getting anything done anyway, so you might as well listen to your body and give it some time. This tip was brought to you by Tristan of Layfield Resume Consulting. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Layfield Resume, or connect with me, Tristan Layfield, on LinkedIn.